Everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great today. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look at one of my recent duels. I am gonna walk you through the plays and the strategies and yeah, what I could have done better. And it's in this video White Forest. Yeah, against the Labrynth strategy, and Labrynth in Genesis is really hit hard. We have Big Welcome Labrynth at 33 points, we have the Lady Labrynth at 33 points, and also the normal Welcome Labrynth is also at 33 points, so it's kind of hard to play this deck. Also, Rollback, as I know, has some points, so they will not play the full Labrynth package in this deck, I think. So yeah, let's see how this game goes. I am going first in this game, and right here my hand is kinda good. I have the Stellar, I have the Vose, so I only have this one play. If it gets stopped though, I still will have Vose, which I can send for the effect of a Stellar, and I have two non-engine, and yeah, this sort of Concealing Light doesn't help when you go first, but yeah. I think going first and going second overall, this hand is fine. His hand, he has Arias, which is pretty good together with Big Welcome Labyrinth. And he also has Stovey Torby to discard the rollback and also backjack. So his hand, I think, is also pretty good. And yeah, let's see how he's playing that. I'm just gonna go for my play, discard the Vose for the effect of a Stellar. And yeah, he doesn't stop it. I special summon the Sylvie and then activate Sylvie 1, Vose 2, set and then search for tails. Right here, if I get drolled, it's still fine because I play a package with Rage Rose Dragon or something like that, which can help me play for droll, but he doesn't have droll, so I will go for Resedia. Then Resedia effect, discard tails. I can just reset it and then use it. And get for Elizette. I think Elizette is fine here because I always have like the sorts of Concealing Light that I can discard for free, which I don't need when I go first. So I think the extra body is fine to have here. Then I use Tails and also Astella Engrave to special summon herself back. And then right here, I'm using the tails before I go into the Diabelster Queen, because I need a spell or trap in graveyard, so I can get back something. And if I don't have something in graveyard, right, it's a wasted effect. So I used this before, get the Diabels of the White Witch to my hand, and yeah, then go Diabel Queen of the White Forest, add back the tails of the White Forest. And right here, I'm thinking how I want to continue the play. I decide to use Elizette, and I also discard the Tails of the White Forest because there's no real reason why this is in here. Why I keep this in the hand is just follow-up, but I can just add it back in the next turn if I want with Diabel Queen. And yeah, if I have a board, right, I don't really need that much follow-up because my board generates follow-up on its own. Then I use Sylvie to get back the Reselia. And those two go into Coral Dragon. And then I special summon the Elizette Azamina. Right here, I go for Coral Dragon because this one draws me a card. And I only need a light monster and a tuner to go for the Vanadium guy, which I'm doing here. Then, Visas Amritara searches me, and also Coral Dragon draws me, and also Elizette Azamina searches me for the Sinful Spoils trap. So I search a reframing for Visas Amritara, then get a Sinful Spoils of Slumber Morion. Oh yeah, I I actually draw the Sinful Spoils Slumber Morion with the Coral Dragon. So yeah. Oh no, I actually forgot to activate the effect. Okay, that was a confusing situation here, and yeah, I only used Amritara and Coral Dragon. I forgot to actually use the Elizette Azamina, which is obviously a huge misplay to forget one of your effects. And then I actually draw into the Sinful Spoils Slumber of Morion, which is like super bad at this point, right? Right. So this could have been like any other card, but okay, whatever. I got this. If my if my play resolves right, if I can establish a board with this deck, is it still strong enough? So this is like a small misplay. It's not the end of the world. Then I use Diabels, discard a Sinful Spoil Slumber of Morian, because I can set this back, and I think it's always nice to have this. To have this set back, because if I have Sheng Ying, I can trigger this Sheng Ying, because this one banishes itself when it goes from the field to when it leaves the field, right? Because it sets itself back, so I can trigger the Sheng Ying with this card. Then I send the Curse of Diabel, add Filia Diabel. Then I use the effect to set, and then Filia Diabel to add the Diabel Star Vengeance. Then I banish those two for cost, and then activate Vengeance. And then I set the reframing, Droplet, I have the Woe set, and also Sinful Spoil Slumber of Morian. And right here, I think I pass turn. Yeah, and I don't really agree with this play right here. I should have used Visas Amritara here, because I'm blocking my zones. I only have one zone left, and Woes kind of needs two zones to be able to work here. So I'm just blocking my own Woes from being activated. Because in the opponent's turn, I can use Sylvie to shuffle back the Diabel Queen if I already used it, right? And then special summon with Woes, level 2, Alizette or whatever, and then go into the, how's she called? Sylvie? Oh, no, Silvera, to book everything. And yeah, this is like a small problem. But Visas Amritara has the effect during your main phase, you can destroy one monster you control. Also, all synchro monsters you control will gain 800 attack this turn. So I think this one only protects. Yeah, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, right? So I could use the Visas Amritara to destroy itself, and then I have another zone free to use. And I think this would have been technically the better play, because like that I cannot use Woes if he doesn't remove stuff from my board. And but the other way around, Madnadian reframing only destroys if I control Visa Starfrost, and this guy is Visa Starfrost only on the field but not in the graveyard. So it's always pro and con. So this one only negates then but not destroys. So yeah, it's kind of you have to kind of decide what you want to have. But now he also uses the Storytorby. I think yeah, he uses it in end phase, which is the correct play to do here, I think. And then he thinks, I'm thinking if I want to chain the Diabel Queen right here, but I actually decide not to do that. And then he sets the big welcome, because yeah, okay, now I see it. He plays two big welcome, but no normal welcome Labrynth, and then also no Lady Labrynth, which is like a huge restriction in my opinion. And yeah, he sets the big welcome, then use the effect of backcheck. Let's see what he got. He got Ariana, Chandelier, and Pot of Extravagance. Okay, and then he changes his top deck, which is kind of clever. And then I use in the end phase Vengeance to pop the big welcome Labyrinth. I think this is the right place to do here. Yeah, he can use the grave effect of big welcome Labyrinth, but I don't know if he plays one or two, right? But having him not being able to activate the on-field effect is way more important here. And if he doesn't control a level 8 or higher monster, fiend monster, the grave effect is really not that harmful, right? Because only if you control a level 8 or higher fiend monster, you can target one card your opponent controls instead. But if he doesn't, he can only bounce his own monster. So I think it's fine to pay 4,000 life points here. And I also don't special summon from the extra deck with Diabel Star Vengeance, because I don't want to clock my zones completely. And yeah, he put the Pot of Extravagance on top, which is kind of cool. And then he goes main phase, uses Pot of E. And right here, I just use the reframing on that, because I think this is like an easy 2-for-1. Then he only has 3 cards in his hand. And yeah, I think this is like a good thing to do. I do have Droll Lockbird here, which could have came in here, but I think against the Labrynth deck, there's no reason to play for Troll. So I rather deny him the draw 2, and he's not able to just set 5 right and pass then. So this is like a 2-for-1. I think I take this because I have a lot of interruption that I can still use. Then he used the areas. And then I chain here the Duel Queen, and I actually sent the Vows of White Forest to the graveyard, because right here I cannot use it at all, and also his cards all destroy my cards, and if I have Diabel's the White Witch on the field, they cannot destroy my cards, so I saw no real reason why I should have kept this, and I can just reset it for the next turn. And yeah, then I special summon the Poplar of the White Forest. And then he sets the big Welcome Labyrinth from the hand. And I use the Woes to set itself, and then Poplar to put in the spell trap zone. And then, yeah, I have to put 2 actually. Poplar has to target 2, which I did not know before, but he told me. So yeah, now I put 2 in there. And then he uses the big Welcome Labyrinth. Right here, I chain the Poplar to go into the Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon. And he adds no special summons, and then adds back the Ariana, which triggers his Stovey Torby. But I can actually prevent that because Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon says during the main phase quick effect you can target one face-up monster on the field or in either graveyard. Place it in the face-up's owner spell and trap zone, which I'm doing here, to deny him the card. And he can actually chain then the areas to special summon her. But I don't think this is like super harmful. Then he normals the Ariana. And then I just chain drop it here and yeah, negate both. And like that I also have now free space for my cards to set them. And then he leaves main, and then I just pop the transaction rollback in the end phase, which is not the ideal play. If I would have known that this was transaction rollback, I would have popped this, but yeah, I did not know, so I fell for the trap, I think. Then he activates the transaction rollback, and oh yeah, he's a bit fast. I still have to resolve the Diabel's Vengeance. And then I use the effect and search for... Oh no, I use Reselia chaining 1, send Elizette for cost, and then also Elizette chaining 2 because it's a tuner spellcaster that gets summoned. And then I search for another Tails, then he uses the rollback in the end phase and special summons the lovely Labyrinth, which is... he copies the big welcome, by the way. He copies the big welcome. But this is not really harmful for me, because all my monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effect because of the Abelza the White Witch. He could pop the Vows or the Sinful Spoils Slumberian, but I don't really care about that. I don't think this is like super harmful. He uses the effect, but right here I chain the Sinful Spoils Slumber of Morian to just book the lovely. And yeah, then from there, there's not a lot he can do. He pops the Vows, which I don't really care about. And yeah, then I use Elizette. Special summon Elizette, search for Rusia. And then effect of Tails. Right here, I think I did not play this 100% correct because I don't have a Synchro 8 in my extra deck anymore, and right now I'm just playing not that great with my zones because I already now clocked them. I should have maybe used the effect of Sylvie before to get the Diabel Queen into the extra deck, but the problem right here is if I do that, I have now Reselia on the field and also Sylvie on the field, and I can still do nothing because I already went into my rank 12 synchro. So either way, I block my zones, right? So yeah. Then I still use the effect to shuffle back the Reselia and go for the Sylvie of the White Forest. And then I just go for Silvera because this one makes piercing. And then I book his monsters, then use the Tails to search, get the Astella. And then I can go for... Oh no, there's nothing in my extra deck I can go for. Again, right here, I think I misplayed this again. So, but then I just go battle phase and attack over his monsters, and then he uses back check to check the top of his deck, but he mills another back check, and then he scoops there. Yeah, I blocked myself the zones, but I had so much going for me that I don't think there was a way that he could have come back. Also, he went through both of his big welcome cards, so I think this wasn't really there wasn't really a way for him to come back, even though my zones were blocked by myself. All right, now for game 2. I sided here and I will go second in this game now. He goes first and has 2 rollback, which is not the best start. He has Daruma Cannon, but he has Chandelier together with rollback, which is huge different, and also a backjack. My hand right here, it's not that great, but I have the Purize map to search for the Astellar, I think is her name, the level 2 that I normally summon and specials from the deck. And I also have the Toy Soldier, which is kind of good in this situation, but Lucia is not that great to have here. But I sided in attack against decks that destroy, which is purely happy memory. I use this only for the effect choose one card on the field, and until the end of the next turn, the first time it would be destroyed by card effect, it's not destroyed. So if he wants to pop like my normal summon, I can just use this to make it not be destroyed. And it doesn't even target, right? It doesn't target for cost, it chooses in resolution, which is also kind of nice. And I also have the Sinful Splice Subversion Snake Eye, which can out problematic cards, which is not that great against the Labrynth strategy, but let's see how he plays it. He goes first, uses Chandelier to obviously discard the rollback, sets the big welcome Labrynth, and then also sets the Daruma Cannon and sets then the backjack. I think, also sets the rollback, alright. And then passes his turn. I tap the Cosmic Cyclone, which is kind of good, I think. But I don't think I just shotgun it here. I will just go for the first thing I have to do at the start of the main phase. Add 1 monster with 0 attack from a deck to your hand, which I'm doing here, which is the Astellar. And then right here, I think I'm not just because right here I have the choice if I just want to pop one of his unknown back rows. Because I know that this one is the big welcome, so I could have just target one of those to get rid of it. I don't know if I do it right here. Yeah, I just do it. I just target one of the back rows I don't know, which could be potentially harmful, because I don't think Labrynth would play a lot of floodgates, right? So I think it's fine to do that. I don't know if it's like the best thing to do, but yeah, just get rid of one of those cards that could be harmful. And I actually hit the Daruma Cannon. Also, if I would have hit the rollback, it would also have been fine, but yeah, hitting the Daruma Cannon obviously way better here. And then I set the Toy Soldier because I want to be able to use Astellar on it, but I could have done this the other way around, I think. I don't know if this was like the correct play to do it like that. I know some Diastella, he uses the big welcome Labrynth, which is reasonable because now he just specials the Lovely and adds the backjack back to the hand to be able to just pop my Astellar. And yeah, he uses Chaining 1 Lovely, Chaining 2 the Chandelier. And then I use Chaining 3 Happy Memory to just protect my Astellar, because this is my only play, so I want to be able to protect it. And he's like, what? You play this? It's just attack against destroying effects. And yeah, then he chooses the face down Toy Soldier to be destroyed, which is good for me because now I can use the effect of Toy Soldier, special summon him, and then search for the Toybox. but now he used the Chandelier, which he added back to discard the back check. Actually, really nicely done, because he set it the back check, added it back with Big Welcome, and then added back the Chandelier because he added it back, and now he can discard it again. I think this was nicely done from my opponent. And now sets another Big Welcome, and then you can use the back check to look at the top 3 cards, and he actually sees the trap trick, which is kind of insane here. And now he can put the trap trick on top of his deck, use the back check effect, set the trap trick, and now he cannot use a rollback or Big Welcome in this turn, so it's actually fine to just activate the trap trick here. And he kind of has a devastating spell, which is Eradicator Epidemic Virus. He instantly uses this on me, and I lose the Toybox, also the Symphon's Boy Subversion Snake Eye, which does hurt a lot, because now I don't have any spells left to use my effects, which, kind of hurts. So, I can special summon the Rusia of the White Forest here, but there's nothing really that I can do. One thing I could have done is just overlay for the I'm playing a Tornado Dragon right here, so this could have been a play. But even if I draw in the next turn a spell, it just gets discarded by Epidemic Virus. So this is also I don't have a follow-up play, so I cannot use the Astella even if I have it on field. And he still has like the rollback to use the Big Welcome Labrynth again. So this is super hard situation for me, because the Epidemic Virus just loops everything out of my hand. But then I decide to go into the Rage Rose, which is my play through Duel, and I use the effect to discard the Bramble Rose Dragon and also the Naturia Cosmo Beat. And yeah, it's just pretty simple. You just banish the Bramble Rose Dragon to reborn the Naturia Cosmo Beat. He's a tuner, level 2, and this is not a non-tuner, so you can go into a level 8. But I just use it to go into Reselia, because even if I go for the Queen of Diabel, her effect says I can only add something back if she was summoned by using a Synchro monster that's also a tuner. But the problem is Rage Rose, which is not a tuner. So it would have been really nice if I went just for Diabel Queen to just add back something, and then be able like to add back Toybox or Cosmic Cyclone or whatever to be able to play, but I cannot do that. So and also going into Diabel without using the add back effect is also like big minus, because I still cannot use the other effect to special summon from the extra deck if he uses something. So this was like a total fail. So I just go for Reselia because I don't have anything better, and go into battle phase, attack for 1/6 and 2/5, and then I just go for Snake Eyes Vengeance during Synchro 12, because this is like the only thing that's an interruption that I can play. But in the end phase, oh no, he's not even using the transaction rollback in the end phase, which is fine. But he top decks Labrynth, Labyrinth Ariana, which he knew, because he stacked it on top of his deck. So yeah, kind of crazy. Then use the effect, add back the Labrynth, and from here on he can just use Big Welcome, pop my stuff, and I'm just conceding here, because there's no reason to play this game, because I'm completely out of resources. Even if I draw something like a spell, it just gets discarded by the virus card, so there's no way that I can win this game ever. So we just go for game 3. My hand right here is completely busted, because I don't have a Normason, but I have Iron Thunder, I have Tales of the White Forest, and I have a Spellcaster or Illusion monster that I can just special summon, and I also have the Toy Tank. Okay, let's not call it completely busted, but it's not bad, it's good. And his hand is not that crazy, because he's not able to interrupt me at all with these cards, but he has like 3 traps that he can just set to break my board in my turn. The Ruma is also a pretty strong card. So yeah. I'm just starting by setting the Toy Tank, special summon the LEZ, then I can use the Tails effect, get the Astellar, and then normal Astellar, use it to send the Toy Tank and special summon from the deck, then Toy Tank effect and also Sylvie effect. and I add the woes. So right here I'm having like a super strong setup, and I also have like Iron Thunders. So right here I'm like pretty sure, okay, this is hard to lose. My Astella resolved. If he doesn't like use a trap that he set it in my turn, it's like super hard for him to win. Then I discard, and now I actually use the Elisette as a Minas effect. And Channing 1 I think is Resedia, Channing 2 is Elisette. Search for the sinful spoils, and then the Diabels. Then Wolf's effect set itself, and those two go for Diabel. Diabel add back the tails. Then Sylvie special summon herself back, and those two can go into the Mnadium. The Visas Amritara, then Visas Amritara searches me another counter trap, which is crazy to have against a trap deck. And then I special summon Diabels. And I discard a Sinful Spoil Slumber Morion. Again, I do this right here because I want to have it be able to be banished. So I can use actually Changing to banish stuff. And I add the Filia Diabel. Then add the Vengeance, then banish those two cards to special summon the Vengeance. And then I also boost all my cards. And then I set Iron Thunder. I set it in this zone because Iron Thunder destroys everything in the zone that he negates. So this is like the card that I least need at least. No, I don't need the Visas Amritara on field, so I don't care if it gets destroyed. Let's call it like that. And then I also reset the Sinful Spice of Slumber Morion. And right here, I'm actually using the Visas Amritara because, yeah, I set it in the zone of Iron Thunder, and I don't need it on the field, so I will be able to use the Rose effect right here. And I also was like, all right, it's not that crazy bad if my reframing doesn't destroy, because I just negate a trap with it, and the trap will go to the graveyard anyway. So I don't think this is necessary to have the Visas Amritara on field. So I just make some space for me. Then I pass turn here. He's not even using the Chandelier in my turn, which yeah, I think it was because he does not have a good discard and actually already has the big Welcome Labyrinth in his hand. But now he top decks another Punishment, which is not the ideal play, the ideal draw, but yeah. Then he goes main phase, Normus the Ariana. Right here, I think I could have stopped the Ariana with Iron Thunder, which could have been an okay play, but I'm kind of scared that he just sets 5 and passes, right? So I think it's fine to just let it go through, and but he actually adds the areas here, which is kind of tells me that he wants to play in his turn and not just setting 5, which is good, because now he's losing in card advantage, and he sets the big Welcome Labyrinth and activates the big Welcome Labyrinth. And right here I'm just like, okay, I just negate this with reframing and you cannot do a lot more. Then he uses Chandelier, discards the second punishment, and I can just chain the Diabel Queen right here, which is insane because but yeah, he can already also chain the Aris, which is fine. But I have the Zapper Shrimp in my extra deck, which I just special summon here. And this card has a super sneaky effect. It says, if this card is special summoned, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Then you can target one spell trap your opponent controls destroyed. So this is like super strong against Labrynth. And here actually sets with Chandelier right here, and I can just pop it with Zapper Shrimp and then go for a Synchro Summon. He sets the second big Welcome, and yeah, I now use the Tails to add it back, and also the Zapper Shrimp. I'm sending the Sinful Spoils Subversion to the graveyard, and I just pop the second big Welcome. And then he goes end main. I use the Zapper Shrimp effect because I can only use it in main phase and go for the Changing, because I can trigger the Changing with the simple Slumber Morion, which is like super relevant here because now I can banish something from his graveyard and also from his field. And yeah, he goes set 2 and then goes end phase. I use the end phase effect to set it so it gets banished. Then I can use Sotso Changing effect, banish the Chandelier, and also banish the Daruma Cannon, which is like a super crazy play. And yeah, then he scoops, because I was still would have still be able to use in the end phase the Bellstar Vengeance to pop the punishment. I was even thinking if I want to do that, because he has like punishment and big welcome in his graveyard. But I was like, yeah, even if this is a rollback again, it doesn't matter, because all my stuff cannot be destroyed by card effect, right? So if he uses big welcome, it doesn't do anything. If he uses punishment, it's the same, right? So I think it was fine to just to also just destroy this with vengeance. And if he destroys tails or woes or Iron Thunder, right? This could have been. I could have also not just not destroyed because I just had Iron Thunder, but yeah, summoning with this guy is always a good thing. So, but yeah, I think this was a super hard matchup for the Labrynth deck, because I went first, and he obviously has no points left to play like hand traps, and also he cannot play like imperm or impulse or something like that. So it's kind of hard if he plays against a super strong combo deck. Also, Labrynth is also has a pretty heavy hit on the points list. I don't think that the normal Labrynth card, the Welcome Labrynth, needs 33 points. I think that's a bit the ridiculous. Konami could fix that, but I also said that in my other video that about points that can go down. So yeah, I kind of like Labrynth, so I think it's sad that it's hit so hard on this list. But also, thank you a lot for watching. Also, consider maybe subscribing to my channel. That would be really nice. I would be really happy if you could do that, because then I can maybe get to be a YouTube partner. So yeah, thank you a lot for watching again, and see you in the next video.